What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is doing well. Celtics basketball is back. It's been a minute, but here we are. Celtics come away with their third win of the season against the New York Knicks. This one 133 to 123. Some interesting takeaways, some interesting events. I think I want to start with Kristaps. KP is back, and he made it known right away, coming out scoring 8 of the first Celtics points. I think one of the more promising individual parts of his game tonight is he finished shooting 3 for 6 from behind the arc, and we saw that stretch before he got hurt. It was brutal. He was still efficient, in his post-ups and in the restricted area, but shooting the 3, he was like 3 for 21 through that stretch of games. KP's presence always makes the offense more dynamic, but when that 3 ball is consistently falling and he's running that high pick and roll or that pick and pop with whoever the ball handler is, Drew, D. White, JT, JB, it just leaves the defense in a pick your poison situation. I don't think it's a coincidence that KP's return turns out to be one of the more well-balanced efforts of the year. JT with 25, KP with 21, Drew with 16, D. White with 30, and JB with 17. And also a really low turnover game, 7 turnovers for the whole team and 2 between the Jays. And that's all we want to see from the Jays, is take better care of the ball. And I think Kristaps really helps them with that. Sometimes that 2-man game between Jayson and Jaylen just isn't there, and they end up forcing things. But that 2-man game between JT and KP or JB and KP, that different dynamic always seems to work and bails them out whenever they need it. You could just throw it up to the 7-3 guy and he'll get it. But yeah, really happy KP is back. Let's hope he can stay healthy moving forward. But anyway, I think it's only right to move on to Derek White next. I mean, how phenomenal was he tonight? Finished with 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 10 for 16 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3. I mean, at this point, it's hard not to justify Derek White being an all-star. I know he will never get that credit, but he is an all-star caliber player. Even though the counting stats were there for him tonight, they just won't be there for him all the time. But that's fine, because the box score doesn't even sum up half of Derek White's impact. He does everything, all the little things so well. It's consistently making the right play on both ends of the floor. It's his screening, it's his off-ball movement, it's putting his body on the line. One of the best net ratings in the league. But at the end of the day, I feel like Derek will never just get the credit he deserves. I feel like he's one of the NBA's best kept secrets. I know more people are starting to give him credit, like JJ Redick and just more people in the national media, but still, I don't think there's ever enough love or appreciation for what Derek White does for this team. And for everyone who said giving up Romeo Langford, Josh Richardson, that first round pick, and that pick swap was too much for Derek White, I mean, are you guys able to look past it at this point? Can we finally just bury that? There was this one guy, I don't even want to bring this up, who worked for like the Celtics SB Nation or whatever, and his name is Neil Lyer. I think that's his name, and yeah, that sounds about right, because he is a liar. He wrote an article a day after the trade, maybe 2 days after the trade, that the title was "The Derek White Trade is a Disaster." I don't know if he's made comments since or he's taken it back, but I would really like to hear what he has to say right now. We're off topic. Let's get back to the game. Let's talk about Drew Holiday. He had a great game tonight. I mean, he's had a rough stretch here. People have been, on Twitter, they've been talking about, did we make the right trade? Do we really need Drew? Is he looking old and slow and blah, 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 blah. I never really believed any of that. I think it's just him adjusting to the team and maybe his work a little bit too high on the defensive end guarding these bigs. But he had a great game tonight. 16 points, 7 for 11 from the field, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. And I think the biggest thing I was happy to see was his finishing around the rim, especially with that left hand. It was money tonight. It was efficient. Last year, Drew was around 63, 62% in the restricted area. This year, he took a significant drop. So far, we're only 21, 22 games in. He's in the low 50s. That's got to be the goal for him to get to that 60% mark. But not only was he efficient putting the ball in the basket tonight, I thought he did a great job, especially in the first half, making plays for others. Sometimes I feel like this team's in a tough spot. Not a bad spot. This is why I'm happy I'm not the coach. I don't have to make this decision. There's just so many great ball handlers and decision makers on this team. It's like, how do you delegate time to each one so they get their fair share? Specifically Drew and Derek, I think they're the most confident when they're on ball. Like when they got their ball in their hands and they're making plays for others, the rest of their offense comes together as well. At the end of the day, it's a good problem to have. We'll just see how it's managed moving forward. Tatum had an okay game for his standards, finished with 25 points. Didn't shoot the ball incredibly efficient. His free throws, I don't know if this is a real problem, but his free throws have been off this year. It's like every game he misses multiple, and I can't remember another year like this. But other than that, like I said, an okay game, 0 turnovers. KP makes his life easier. We talked about 4 starters. We have to talk about the 5th because he played a part in the most exciting part of the game. But first of all, I just gotta say, why did ESPN have to post that graphic about JB? Why'd they have to do him like that? First of all, like the 0 assists and 43 field goal attempts in 2 games. First of all, it's misleading. It's petty. they got to know that people, I don't even know how people do this. It's not possible. They think they could do it, but they watch basketball through tweets and like infographics, and that's just not how it works. But people think they know a lot about a player just based on those things. So putting something like that out there only furthers the agenda of people who hate on JB, saying he has no left hand, which is also not true, and he's overpaid, which is also not true. And they know what they're doing. It's really, it's petty. But anyway, moving past that, we'll stay on Jaylen Brown, though. He gets ejected tonight. He gets ejected for the first time in his career in the fourth quarter here for a ridiculous reason. I mean, nobody still knows why. It's a couple of hours after the game. I mean, the ref just comes up with some bullshit excuse. But so the first technical he said was for, profanity towards the ref, which is understandable. But the second one, Jaylen was on the bench, like turned away from the ref, and the ref was across the court, and somehow Jaylen gets teed up from across the court. He wasn't really screaming at him or anything like that. I just don't understand how these texts are given out nowadays. I mean, if anybody has watched Draymond Green play, he should be getting a tech. I mean, if he's going by the Jaylen Brown standard, right? He should be getting a tech every single play down the court. I just don't understand how the standard changes from player to player. JT just claps. He gets a tech. JB, one of the most mild-mannered players in the league, been in the league for 8 years, never ejected. Just like waves his hand at a ref, gets ejected. I just don't understand this anymore. And it's not just a Celtics thing. This problem has been plaguing the league this whole entire year. Techs just being thrown out left and right. I don't know if the refs just feel like it's a reality show and they want their moment, or they're just having a bad day. I mean, if that's the case, then these refs are having a bad day every day. I just hope it just gets under control soon. If there's any Knicks fans listening, we'll do some quick Knicks talk and then we'll wrap it up. Whenever I watch the Knicks, I'm always frustrated with Julius Randle. And I'm not as hard on Randle as other people are. I think he's a good player, and he definitely deserved those All-NBA teams. You're not two-time All-NBA for no reason. But when I watch him, it feels like he doesn't make the right play a lot of the times, or he thinks he's making the right play, but the right play to him is Julius Randle's shoot. He'll shoot over double teams. He'll look off players. I mean, we saw there then that fast break, he just completely looked off RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has hands up, streaking down the middle of the lane. And I think Julius Randle saw him and just really decided, no, I don't want to pass to you. I think the main takeaway, if you're a Knicks fan, is that Jalen Brunson injury, that ankle turn looked kind of nasty. We know last year during the playoffs, that Miami series, that same ankle, I think it was the same ankle, was pretty messed up. And when he turned it tonight, his reaction did not look good at all. There's got to be some frustration there with Tibbs. Why are you keeping your starters in the game, or most of your starters in the game, when you're down double digits with a minute to go? But anyways, guys, let's wrap it up right there. Game 21 in the books. Celtics are now 16-5 on the season and still the #1 team in the Eastern Conference. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It's the best way to support me. I'm always here after every single Celtics game. All 82, there will always be a post game. I'm not going anywhere. I will talk to you guys December 12th, Tuesday. Cleveland, peace.